the Kentucky Derby. Now, I'm not a big horse racing guy, Jimmy, but I'm going to be honest with you. Nate, hit that picture there. This was a photo finish ending, Jimmy. I had no, like, here's my question for you. Is there hey, Nate didn't put up the question that I had. The question that I had for you, Jimmy, was, is there a more exciting event in sports than the photo finish?
That's a great question. That's a great question. I don't think so. I mean, it's
Put it
clear.
back up there,
It's
Nate. Let me look at it.
definitely in the top. I mean, um,
So the guy who won, Jimmy, was the guy all the way, the horse farthest from our screen. By a
right?
nose.
God knows. And again,
By a literal nose.
all of the training that you do, just like any other sport, to have that type of photo finish type ending is the best thing you can have for the winners. but for spectators, for fans, that's something we can hope for, right? Is seeing the best product do their best, and then we have a surprise or a memorable finish.
I think, Jimmy, a buzzer beater in basketball is pretty hard to beat,
Yeah,
right?
that's a good one.
Yeah.
A touchdown or a pick six to win
Or
it, or a
any
walk-off
sort of
home
game,
run.
a walk-off home run, a Hail Mary, or a
Yeah,
game-winning field goal, right? Or an overtime goal in hockey in the
yeah.
playoffs. I mean, like what happened
It's
last
so
night
many.
in game 7. These are exciting moments. I think the photo finish is right up there with
Definitely.
those. I don't.
Oh,
I think it's
definitely.
one of those things that you can't pick. They're all great.
Even if you're not a horse fan, right? If you're the
Yeah,
horse
you don't watch
racing
horse
sporting
racing like
world
me.
fan, you want to see the photo, right? Which will draw interest into the sport, or at least eyes to the sport.
Yeah, I want to see Mystic Dan, who won this year's Derby. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Mystic Dan. Mystic Dan was 18-1 odds.
Ah,
He smoked the Derby favorite, who finished 15th. He had 3-1 odds. Do
wow,
you know, this is crazy, Jimmy? It's only the 10th time the Derby winner has won by a nose.
really?
Yes. And the
Well, see, that
last
lets
time,
you know that's that we've seen a historical
yep,
time, a historical event. That it's only one of the 10 that's
eh,
ever been recorded in history.
yeah, and the last time was 28 races ago. 28. So
Wow.
that's a long time. And shout out to the trainer. See how this works is, Jimmy, there's a horse that runs, and then there's a guy on top, the jockey, and then there's a guy that trains it, and then there's a really wealthy guy that owns the horse, and they all get credit for winning. But the trainer, Kenny McPeak, is the first trainer since 1952. That's a really long time, to win both the Derby and the Kentucky Oaks on the same weekend. So
Wow.
props to Kenny McPeak, props to Mystic Dan, and props to all sports fans that got to see a photo finish. That's awesome.
Absolutely. So what's
Jimmy,
next? Are they going for the Triple Crown or
well, what I was reading is Mystic Dan might not even go for the Triple Crown this year. He might just
too fast of
retire,
a turnaround?
find a nice horse, ride off into the sunset.
So they're doing horse management, huh? Load management for
I,
horses.
I guess so. I guess